This is Chiropractic Marketing FM, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara. Welcome everyone to episode number 13 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara, and today we're actually finishing up our discussion on how to take your chiropractic website from good to great. But before we do that, I need to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Chiropractic Marketing Websites. Chiropractic Marketing Websites helps chiropractors double, triple, and even quadruple new patients in 90 days or less without tech overwhelm and without spending a lot on advertising. Right now, you can grab a copy of their 2018 Ultimate Chiropractic Website Blueprint. This blueprint will show you what you should include on your website that'll help double your conversions, leads, and new patients in under an hour. So if you're not getting the number of leads that you would like from your chiropractic website, then head on over to www.chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com and download your free copy today. Again, that's www.chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com, or simply visit getcmw.com. That's getcmw.com. Now, for those of you who are new to the podcast, we're on the last part of a 6-part series where I'll walk you through how to take your chiropractic website from good to great. Instead of rattling off everything I've covered up to this point like I have in previous episodes, just go check out the show notes. I've provided everything we've discussed up to this point, including links in one simple place. So let's wrap things up by covering tip number 26 through 30. Here we go. If you recall, we ended the last episode talking about the testimonial section. Now, there's a principle in marketing that says you should always cook when the stove's hot. So what better time to get someone to respond than when they've actually engaged with some powerful testimonials that you've displayed on your site, right? But how can you get them to respond? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Just add another call to action below the testimonials. Now, obviously, the call to action needs to speak to the wants, needs, and desires of your site visitors, and that can be a bit tricky. So you need to determine what type of patient you're trying to attract at any given time. You see, your website is a living, breathing thing that requires consistent updates and changes based off of your marketing plan. In other words, it shouldn't be stagnant over a long period of time. It also needs to speak directly to a certain demographic instead of to the masses, because when you market to everyone, you're actually marketing to no one. If you're having a difficult time figuring out how to do this, I recommend that you check out Chiropractic Marketing Websites. They provide a complete training library that walks you through these nuances and even help build out all the technology required to get the job done. They'll also provide a blueprint that outlines many of the things we cover here. Just head on over to chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com and download their 2018 Ultimate Chiropractic Website Blueprint. You'll be glad you did. Next up, I recommend you feature some sort of case study that shows the results you've actually obtained with a patient. Now, don't make this hard. Just review your patient files and pick out one you would feel would line up with your marketing plan. Then put together a little case study that walks people through how you help this particular person. When done properly, case studies can be powerful to drive new patients into the practice because they provide additional proof above and beyond your typical testimonial. For my third tip today, I recommend adding your own unique story below the case study. And when I say story, that's exactly what I mean. Not a list of where you went to school, your degrees, your specialties, etc. Instead, write a story about your unique experience with chiropractic, why you chose to become a chiropractor, and how it's impacted your life for the better. This does two things. It connects your visitors to your experience and validates the importance of chiropractic through your eyes, the actual doctor that oversees the practice. Next, I recommend adding a lead magnet below your story that's designed to solve a particular problem. As mentioned in the first tip I shared earlier today, this lead magnet needs to be laser focused on the type of patients you're trying to attract through your current marketing plan. In other words, it can't just be something generic that applies to everyone. Instead, it needs to speak to the wants, needs, and desires of a particular segment of your patient base. The easiest way to accomplish this is by focusing on a particular condition or symptom like migraine headaches. Make sense? Last but certainly not least, you need to spend time building out a properly optimized footer for your site. This includes having a secondary navigation in place, the name, address, and phone number of your business visibly displayed, preferably near an embedded Google Maps of your location. You also need to make sure you've included any copyright information as well as the most current and updated privacy policy that you and your practice abides by. This may seem like little nuances, but will make a huge difference in the long run, especially if the U.S. adopts something similar to Europe's General Data Protection Regulation that went into effect on May 25th of 2018. All right, I think I'll wrap things up here, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Just click on the links found in today's show notes or simply go over to iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Stitcher and search for the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. Also, I'd highly recommend that you go download the 2018 Ultimate Chiropractic Website Blueprint. Again, you can find that over at chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com or simply visit getcmw.com. Last but certainly not least, I'd greatly appreciate your review of this podcast over at iTunes. It not only helps build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also gives me a good indication on how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.